Good morning. Today we're making a breakfast burrito. There are so many things that you can put into a breakfast burrito based on what vegetables you like and what cheeses you like and hot sauce and all that kind of stuff. But for this one, I'm just going to make one using things I have already, but along the way I'll give you alternatives and other suggestions that you could swap out for foods that you like. Let's go. If you're including a breakfast meat such as ham, chorizo, sausage, or bacon, you'd want to begin by cooking the meat first. This time though, we won't be adding meat. Another hearty ingredient that's excellent to include in breakfast burritos is potato. I like to use golden potatoes because they have a very velvety, smooth texture once cooked. I slice them fairly small so there aren't large chunks of potato in the burrito that will tear the tortilla when I wrap it up later, and so they'll cook a little bit faster. The fastest and easiest way I've found to cook my potatoes is by adding a tablespoon of butter to a pan over medium-high heat, add the potato pieces, and then cover and let cook, tossing occasionally until I can easily poke the potatoes with a fork and there's little to no resistance. There are a few important details to point out here. One, I prefer using butter rather than oil as the fat in the pan because butter is made of a mixture of water and milk, solids or fat. The fat in the butter will coat the pan, providing a non-stick surface, while the water in the butter will provide the moisture needed to soften the potatoes. Covering the pan will also help keep the moisture from the butter in the pan, creating a steaming effect. Tossing the potatoes every few minutes will keep them from burning or getting too browned on one side. Onions also provide a bit of moisture to our foods while they're cooking, so if you don't have butter but want to create that same steaming effect to cook your potatoes, you can add some diced onion and cover the pan to keep the moisture in. You can also add other ingredients that relieve moisture, like bell pepper or zucchini, depending on what you have on hand. While the veggies are cooking, we're going to mix up our eggs. In a small bowl, I beat 6 eggs and a splash of milk with a fork until well combined. You don't have to add milk here. You can add a splash of water instead or nothing at all. There are many different preferences out there when it comes to scrambled eggs, but I've found that the milk gives the eggs a tad bit more creaminess due to the fat content. Another controversial note, but I also add salt to my eggs before adding them to the pan when I'm scrambling them. You can also wait until they're in the pan to salt them if you like, it won't ruin them either way. Back in the pan, most of the moisture from the butter and onion has evaporated, but our potatoes aren't quite done yet since they don't pass the fork poke test. At this point, I added some chopped red bell pepper and recovered the pan. Again, as the pepper cooks down, it'll lend a bit more moisture to the potatoes to finish cooking, and the pepper will get nice and soft. Once the veggies are softened, I remove them from the pan and set aside so I can scramble up the eggs. I prefer to use a Tupperware that I'll be storing the leftovers in to cut down on dishes, which I would recommend. At this point, you could also add more delicate veggies like spinach if you like. Then we'll add the eggs to the pan and scramble gently until fluffy before adding the veggies into the pan and mixing well. As a final touch, I sprinkled some fresh parsley and oregano, and don't forget to season to taste with salt and pepper. Once the eggs are finished cooking, you can cut the heat and sprinkle with your favorite cheese if you like, allowing it to melt with the remaining heat in the pan. I used cotija cheese this time for a bit of tang, and since I wasn't including any meats. If you did include meat in your burrito, I'd suggest choosing your cheese to complement the meat that you chose, if you can. Ham and cheddar go together very well. Chorizo and cotija cheese or Oaxaca cheese are a great combination. Bacon and Parmesan play well together. Depends on what you have and what flavor profile you're going for. Once the cheese is melted on top, we'll scoop into our tortillas and roll up the burrito. Rolling a burrito seems like a simple thing, but to get a really good seal on the burrito so that nothing leaks out takes a bit of practice. The first step is to push all the filling towards one side, fold in the ends, fold it over, and then tuck it in. This is the important part. And then fold in the ends a second time while you continue rolling the rest of the way. Now you have a well-rolled burrito that won't fall apart when you try to eat it. And we'll do the second one. And now for the most important part of making a burrito at home, grilling it. Return the pan to medium-high heat and grill each burrito, starting with the seam side down and turning onto all sides until golden brown. And there you have it, the breakfast burrito. Easy to customize, eat on the go, or save for later to reheat. Time to try. I'm very hungry, but this is like really hot. I feel like the last 3 videos I've burned my tongue. Because by the time I'm done making the food, I'm so excited to eat it that I just like shove it in my mouth and I don't, without any concern about how molten hot it is. Oh man. Fresh oregano and eggs has changed my life. It's so good. Potato really makes it like a lot heartier and it'll stay full for longer. And the grilled texture on the outside, even if you're just making like bean and cheese burritos, like basic burritos, any burrito at home, just throw it in the skillet for a couple seconds and turn it around so that it gets grilled and it gets this nice like brown on the outside, and like the texture of it. It's not like super crispy like a chip, but it has more than just a like microwaved tortilla. It adds a little bit of extra texture. It's good, especially if you're having like a bean and cheese burrito, because beans are just, it's just floopy. It's a great way to start the day. All right, well, I'm gonna go make some coffee now. If you like this video or you learned something, give it a like. If you'd like to learn more, subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.